Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Katowice Royale. And much like a volcano, things are really starting to hot up at the moment. We've got 4 rounds under our belt. We've only got 3 rounds to go now. But before we get into our next rounds, we want to, again, catch up with one of our competitors who's competing in this tournament. And this time, it's Razaru.
Usually I'm just I'm starting my day with Kovacs. That's like an FPS trainer that I use, and after that I made my own edit map to practice some edits for Fortnite, and after that I do some build fights or public games. I'm really good at late game decision making. So when it comes to rotations in like the last 3 or 4 zones, I'm usually like doing the best decisions, leading me to the victories I can get. And I think the fighting in early game, I'd say, is my weakness. I would say like a combination of building and making smart decisions, like game sense. I think I used to play soccer as my hobby before, but I basically stopped for like e-sport. My favorite music style is basically electro swing, and Caravan Palace is amazing.
There we go then, gentlemen. Catching up with another one of our competitors here, Razaru, obviously from Germany. Lots to say. He says that his decision-making in endgame is what separates him as a player.
Yeah, and his decision-making late game has been able to net him multiple rounds in a row being high ground, which is so important. We were watching, backstage, and we were talking about how he's able to get high ground a second game in a row, but more importantly, he was able to maintain it for a very long time.
And I need to welcome you to the desk. I realise that I haven't. I'm sorry, Zacubus.
Right.
Zacubus is joining us on the desk, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've been chomping at the bit to get on the desk. Obviously, 4 games down now. What's been the standout performances for you?
There's been so many. Yakos in that last game, the absolute game awareness that lad has was insane. To know where that jump had at the right point at the right time. No mats, does the risky play, comes out second place. Really, really well played from Yakos.
We've had a couple of players kind of sneaking their way up the rankings as well. Magen, a guy we haven't really touched on individually too much. We've mentioned his name quite a bit, but he's currently in 3rd place. He's been able to finally get in through there. And I kind of want to point this out because obviously there's a lot of EU versus NA, but we have to keep in mind, out of the top 10 players right now, 7 are from Europe, one's from Brazil, and the other 2 are from North America.
And another thing to point out is we've had 4 games so far, 4 different winners from 3 different continents, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? We said that we wanted to have players from every single corner of the globe, and they're all performing, Zacubus.
Oh, very much so. It's neck and neck. Everybody's coming above and below. I mean, Vinny, he was about 5th, 6th for 3 rounds in a row, and now he's stepped it up. And after that last performance, he's overtaken Kinstar. So now that's a big, big upset. EU's going to be mad about that, but you got Magin on the back hill, Kinstar still up there, and Brazil coming out on top as well with that 5th placement as well.
And then you have Skype we were talking about. He's been slowly slipping away actually out of the top 10, where 72 hours, he's actually been on his way up, taking his step by step up that ladder, currently at rank 11.
Okay, well, we've got to catch up with another man who's part of our team, and that's Stress, because he's with another man who's part of our team that we haven't heard from for a while. It's Adam Savage. What are you up to, guys?
All right, lads. All right, how's it going? I'm joined, as you said, now by our esteemed colleague, our fellow caster, Stress. Stress, what are you doing?
I was so hyped at the last game, I figured I'd come down here. Like, that end game, these end games today have been insane. This is what we live for.
It is. I mean, great transition, by the way. I love that transition. That was great. We're having a ball down here. Obviously, the audience here as well are loving every second of this. International event, best players in the world. And what an incredible production as well. Everyone is absolutely loving this online. How much are you enjoying being here as well?
I'm loving it, especially, as I said, some of these end games have been insane. Right now, though, we're at that pivotal point in the tournament where we can still see somebody make a run. So even if your favorite player at home isn't yet in the mix, in the standings. Like, this is the moment where you can see somebody go on a tear. We've already seen players jump all the way up to the top early on. That can just as easily happen in the late game. So this deck is stacked. There's 100 players and really coming into it. So many of them, you say, okay, yeah, that's who I predict to win.
I mean, we're all backstage and we're all jumping up every single play. We're out of our seats. We're going wild. Are there any players particularly for you that you want to see do better, or you want to kind of we want to see kind of take this home?
I think one that I want to see take it home, I think Yakos had a fantastic game in that game 4. There's a few players I'm pretty happy to see. Keenstar doing well, 72 Hours is up there as well. But as I said, like, if your favorite player at home isn't yet being shown a lot on broadcast, isn't yet in the standings, don't worry. Like, it doesn't mean that they're out of it. This is the great thing about Fortnite, is somebody can make a run in the back half of this tournament. They can come through, even if they aren't in that top 30, top 40 positions. There's still time.
Literally anything is possible, Stress. Audience, are you ready for the next game? Make some noise! They're ready to rock and roll, as are we. We can't wait. Mark, back to you, fellas. What an amazing Game 5 this is going to be.
Thank you very much, guys. Always good to hear from Stress and his thoughts on the tournament. We're going to have a look at the standings at the moment, though, gentlemen, because as you can see, the bus is almost ready to launch. And there's been some big changes in this top 10, maybe not from players having fantastic performances in the top 10, but it's kind of some players who were in that 10 to 20. They're having those big games, and they're pushing some of those players that were in that top 10 out of contention now.
Yeah, they're catching up real fast. As we mentioned earlier, 72 Hours. He's been slow and steady, playing the turtle game, just slowly munching his way through his competitors and grinding up.
Seen history, though. They're in the top 10. Viva Brazil, going to see some action from them. We talked about them being the top players from their region, and they're starting to show here, especially if they could come out with like a top 10 finish in solo, top 10 finish maybe tomorrow on in duo. They're looking very good to show the strength that the region does have.
Yeah, certainly going to be some Vamoses in the chat if we see some big performances from the Brazilian guys. You can see all the way down we go as well. Obviously, everyone's still trying to fight for those points. There's a lot of money on the line here for where you place. So even though we're always looking at those top spots, if you get into those placements where you pick up that money, every single spot that you're moving up is just a little bit more in the bank.
So keeping that in mind, there are these thresholds you need to hit to be into the money, right? 17th to 20th takes home 1,000. Then if you break through to 16th, you double up your actual money to 2K. Break through the top 10, you double yet again. And then 5th, 6th takes you to 6,000. You jump up by quite a bit every step thereafter. So if you want to maintain a position or get in a position to win some money, you got to start putting up some good games here, because we're almost done with the day.
And this is the big turning point, isn't it? This game here, we've only got a couple of games left after this, so kind of all the mistakes that you might have made, or all the games that haven't quite gone your way up to this point, you can't afford those now. This is where you need to put in those bomb performances, like we mentioned, to put yourself into contention for that title.
For sure. Like, the last 20 people in this tournament are a real threat to the top 20, though. They're going to be a little bit tilted. They don't have any points. They're going to try desperately to grab at something. So our top contenders have to be careful of these loose elements that are now going to be put into the game.
Okay, well, we have a couple of questions, I believe, actually coming in from social media, possibly for you guys. So prepare yourself. We love putting you guys on the edge. We'll get those coming up as soon as we can. And, ooh, how many different weapons? Oh, no, it's not even social media. You guys are being put under the cosh here. How many different weapons are there currently in Fortnite? Is it A15, B18, C21, or D24?
What's considered
I love
weapon,
how,
right?
None of you pick one straight away,
What's
which is a
considered
fantastic
necessarily
start.
a weapon?
It's a great question, but yeah, I mean,
because the cannon's technically a weapon.
Yeah, but what about
not
utility items? Do they count? Like,
you know what? I'm gonna be the first one out there. I'll do it. I'll go. I'll go 21.
21. Okay.
I'll go 21. We'll see.
It's been a lot of weapons. It's been a lot of weapons. I'm gonna go 24.
Best bit is, don't even know the answer. I haven't been told the answer.
Yeah, we're not gonna be told, which is great.
We'll find out as soon as we can, if you know, of course. Is it 21? Did you get it right?
Yep. I lost my pen, but I got it right.
God. You're going to be unbearable now, aren't you?
Yep, of course. You know me. You know me too well.
Let's not do that again, because Jason, if we pump him out anymore, he's gonna take my job probably at some point. Are you gonna move?
Yeah, one day. I'm not quite at him. But no, I mean, there's a lot of weapons. I don't know if that included like Volta weapons or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trick question. I feel cheated.
You know, it was a legitimate
I didn't answer
question.
it.
It was a good question, and the best guy in the desk got it right.
Okay, I've got another question coming in here, and this is a tweet coming in. Is which do you think matters more, mechanical skill or decision-making or positioning, etc.? And that comes in from Tash. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, everybody. But, thank you for sending it in. Tasheng. There we go.
Mind if I take this one? Well,
Please.
I think decision-making is key. It really is. Look at me. Mechanically, I'm you know, the worst. Let's be honest. Like, I'm very envious of all these top-tier players with their outstanding mechanical skills. But if you make the right decision at the right time in the right rotation, technically you don't have to face any enemies whatsoever. So decision-making is always key.
I'm going to go a different route. I'm going mechanical skill. Because I feel like you can always learn decision-making from experience, but to be a mechanical genius that just naturally knows how to make everything work for you can always play to your advantage.
True, but it can also make you cocky, like you, Jake.
What's wrong with being cocky? What's wrong with being cocky?
Did you lose your pen, by the way?
I did.
Yeah, he got carried away when he realized he got a question right.
I have no idea where it went, but you know what? I'm sure you'll get on your hands and knees to find it for me.
To the side. But obviously now, this is, as I was saying, no more room for mistakes for these guys. And I believe that we're ready to get into our round number 5, gentlemen. So Jason Kaplan and Zacubus, it's over to you for round 5.
All right, to kick things off, I want to start off with a question here, Zacubus, for you, while I try to find my pen in the meantime. My question to you is, if you're one of these players in a top position, do you go into these games trying to play passive, trying to play a different kind of style to make sure you can guarantee yourself those points into like the top 50? Or do you kind of play the way you've been playing this entire time?
It's really tough. It's really tough when you've got all this pressure on you to you know, make those decisions at the right time. The top tier players will make it in a fraction of a second. But I think for me, if I was in this situation, I would go as passive as I can, just try and gain as much placement as possible. If I've already got a significant point lead, play it safe, play it slow, and only take the fights that you need to take.
I completely agree with you. You know, it's not necessarily the flashiest of players or the coolest of players, but you know what? It's not about being the coolest. It's about getting in that top 10. It's about taking home the trophy and taking home the money. So let's see, you can already see Bizzle starting things off. Jarl and Yarkos, I mean, the man we've been talking about from Poland here, the wildcard player, who had no idea he'd be participating even to today when he was playing his match last week, has had a fantastic start and has the opportunity to take home a lot more money if he can break through out of 20th place.
Yeah, he's showing a great performance now. He's kind of warmed up to this crowd. He's got the home crowd behind him as well, and I think he's really stepping up to the challenge here.
Well, we can see Stompy might have some potential action coming his way. As Nate just going to be trying to farm up some metal here in the meantime. We see the Storm. It's not that far of a run for them, so not too much of a worry, but it seems like these players are playing a passive start here as we're into round 5. Again, realizing you've got to start stepping up now if you want to have a chance.
They just kind of want to farm, leave themselves alone as much as possible, and, you know, find the right fight that suits them. And Stompy actually has a great loadout, but missing that shotgun. Desert Eagle, I mean, the hand cannon even, is, you know, it's obviously been nerfed quite a bit, but it's still not bad. Does a lot of damage, I mean, 75, 150 for the headshot.
I know it's not the hand cannon, but I was watching Ninja last night playing with the scope pistol, and he was doing some serious work with that. So definitely cannot count the pistols out no matter what form they're going to be in. Yeah,
just you feel uneasy in those situations, though, not having that shotgun in that close range, and you've got so many opponents near you. You do feel kind of naked.
And see Myth going to be up against Nord. We saw Nord actually get relatively far in that last match, but he's going to have the pressure from a different kind of beast here coming his way. He's got the shotgun. He's got a really good loadout as well. A couple of clingers in there, a couple of traps to use if he does need.
Yeah, Myth taking the high ground here. He's just going to sit up here and wait for the right opportunity to attack. Going in aggressive on that pyramid. Will he get the edit? No, he's just playing it safe, trying to find the opening, trying to get that floor replaced down there so he can just hack away at his opponent. And here it comes. No, missed the opportunity. Good work from Noad. Gonna dart out on the low ground, turtle himself up a bit. Ooh, attempting a high ground retake, but Myth is way ahead of it. And Myth is now dropping down, gonna repeat the same process, try and find an angle to attack here, Jason, as he slows down a little bit.
Yeah, again, he doesn't have the best of kit Myth here to actually go for this fight. He's up against, I believe that was that blue pump out of nowhere, so he's gonna have to actually respect this. I'm actually curious why he's even taking this fight. Do you have any insights into this?
He could actually dip quite easily out of this right now. I mean, he's in a good position. He has the high ground. His opponent, you know, is gonna be not too aware of where he runs off to if he does it early enough, but that is a game changer right there with the clingers coming in. Opening up some more view sight there.
Bowman just took down Issa. So Issa was one of, I believe, our top 10 placers in the last round. has been silent so far. We've actually lost out on 10 players. Madsen as well is going to fall, with Poach getting the early elimination into game number 5. Nowhere again, trying to take that high ground position. He messes up his edit a little bit. Myth actually is going to fall into him. He has the SMG up close and personal. He's really going to have to shield this one away, pop down a couple of walls to protect him, but he's being chased down.
This is game over for Myth, surely. Oh no! The Klinger came out too late. The animation takes a while to go away, so obviously Noah has to play really carefully there. That was an epic mistake there from Noah. He had the fight sealed, and he let Myth get away with it.
You can see Smeef here again, the duo from Milan, coming in last second. He's had a relatively good sort of start, I'd say, over the course of these 4 rounds. In round 5, he might have a little bit of a different problem with the Vic here. Going to be on high ground, just trying to heal up in the meantime. Nowhere to miss, still going head-to-head. I am honestly amazed that both players have not backed away from this one, but Myth will eventually fall to Nowhere. And Lolito has eliminated himself, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a very weird fight there, going in from Myth. I think he should have dipped out a little bit earlier, play it a little bit safe, but maybe he's trying to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. I respect the play, because I think he realizes he's towards like the lower half of the standings. You need to make something happen. You need to get some sort of momentum going on your side to really climb back up the rankings. So a respectable play, I'd say, hands down.
Yeah, and well played to Noah for actually taking that fight and actually claiming it in the end. He had the advantage with the weapons. I felt like he should have captured it a little bit earlier on.
Well, he almost messed up with the Klinger, right? I mean, he came around the corner of the Klinger expecting Mid to not face him, and that almost cost him his life.
The Klingers, they're great if you have the right opportunity, but throwing it in the open like that, when there's an opportunity to attack, you're exposed. You can't build, you can't switch weapon very quickly. So it was the right opportunity for Myth to come back in that fight.
By the way, Aiden did win out on a 1v1 over towards Tilted, so he's trying to make Tilted his own home ground. Milan is out, as you saw in the last few seconds there. Kahuna and Motor. Motor's teammate Eric. Fortunately, it's not alive anymore, as he's been falling relatively early. But I think this is an important tournament for him, for Eric Triceps. Just the fact of getting the experience of playing in front of an audience, playing on a stage, get that under your belt. Definitely helps, because every player here is focused on duos right now, coming into the next 2 days. So get this, get the bad games out of the way now, right, Zacchaeus, and then worry about the real ones tomorrow.
It's definitely a great warm-up. It warms up your own, mechanics. I think you have to be a little bit more mechanical when you're playing solos. There's more threats around you. You've got to quick and dive, dip out of fights all the time, and it puts a lot of pressure on players that aren't as mechanically gifted. But, these guys, they're the top 100, so it's very rare that any of them are in
So
that.
you're agreeing with me about mechanically gifted is important?
Yeah, of course, it's always important. You always want a mix of both, Jason. Don't twist my words.
That is true. I'm sorry, I'm still just riding the high of, being right with C with 21 weapons in the game.
That head is getting way too big on you.
Well, it'll match my nose, at least for me. Motor, in the meantime, still trying to look for some sort of avenue to fight. Again, he does not have a shotgun, so not the best position for him to be in. But again, I kind of think we're seeing the story of how these games are going. Even if you don't have the best weaponry, you need to make something happen.
It's going to be quite the stalemate here with Motor and Kuna. As you can see, the tomato chucking is happening.
Fantastic form as you see Motor.
It is. Well played, lads.
Great little overhand pitch. I think we clocked that one in about 90 miles an hour.
It'd be very interesting to see a Klinger play happen here. Chuck a couple of Klingers on the top of it, force the equation out. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think he's just happy to sit out the timer and rotate a little bit later, but we'll switch back to them maybe in a bit.
I'm glad you chimed in there, because I could not remember how many kilometers per hour 90 miles per hour is. Anyway, Zayt in the meantime, he's got the legendary Chug Jug here. He's got the shotgun. His kit is decent. He also has a launch pad to get away if he needs to. But look at that little edit coming through. He tags him up, but doesn't do that much damage to him. So now, going to go for the Chug Jug. Tajovsky can hear this, but Tajovsky's not going to go for the engagement just yet.
Tajovsky has to go deep in this. I think he needs to push this fight back. We've got a third contender coming up on the top. I believe it's the Korean player, Shinu. And, going in for Tajovsky. This is really bad. And Zayt managed to get off that Chug Jug, no problem.
Yeah. Surprised he wasn't pressured, actually, but I guess it was smart in the end, considering we had the third party come through. Sinnoh's going to be looking for that avenue. Maybe it's going to be above. Zayt, I think, is hoping Tajovsky's going to come in. Now it's a fourth party. It's actually going to be Envy. It's another meta player going to be coming in here to make something happen. As we see the dynamite coming through. Tajovsky's been able to disengage completely. We even have Marky in the general vicinity looking to come in as well. It's just coming down to a giant WrestleMania here.
This is a battle royale in its finest, and that's Envy. And oh, he just got lasered by his own teammate. This is desperate, and the Klingers are coming on the top. The sabotage from the Korean team here. They're knocking each other out. but that's just the way the world goes.
The way the cookie crumbles here in Fortnite as we still see the clingers coming through. Envy is going to be running around the corner yet again. Zay going to be shooting from the window. It seems like no one's going to be free at all in this situation here. But I think Zay's going to be happy in his position. He still got some decent ammo.
Yep.
He's got the health to work with here. He's got other players fighting, so he's not the one to force to do so. Now he's just going to look to back away here and escape this.
Great move actually coming in there from Zay. Really, really good move. Just get out of that mess. It was getting a little bit too hectic. And oh, the shotgun exchange. Great timing then for Envy. As he went for the pickaxe play and the replace, he took a shotgun to the face.
So let's talk about that really quickly then, because if you're in that situation, if you're Envy, forget about his health right now. You have those two plays, right? You can keep trying to replace your own ceiling over and over again, or you can go for the shot and give up control of that wall.
Mix it up. Keep doing the, you know, keep building, keep turbo building on that floor platform, and then when your opponent keeps doing it, relaxes a bit more into it, like you're not going to push out. That's the timing.
Right.
That's when you're going to trick him, give him the little 1-2 shotgun play.
Well, it worked. You could not see how low Sinnoh was going to be here, and Envy still living to fight another day here in round 5. Surprised, because we've had, was it 4 players here fighting? 2 have been able to get away. And it's just left to the Koreans now to see who gets crowned victor in this little skirmish.
Is pushing in. This is going to end the equation surely right now, as Sinnoh is in the better position in terms of health. Can he find it? He does! Gets that long-awaited elimination. Well played. And finally he can resupply a little bit.
Yeah.
He desperately needed it, but is that Nowood coming in with the drift board above?
Well, he's going to be coming in. Not sure if he's going to be able to pick up that elimination. Again, we see Tajovsky, Kuna, Motor, and Marky as well. Even Tixi. We have 5 players here currently. Just trying to buy some time here, though. In the meantime, it looks like Marky wants to be the one to push up and get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more control. He's even using metal here, most importantly. And you can see a lot of players are already pretty much inside of the zone anyway, so it's not too big of a transition out of these players. Not too big of a rotation. Trying to look through the list if there's anyone kind of key within the top 10 that has been dropped. And generally, as we expected, top 20 players are, for the most part, alive.
Yep, still rocking it safe. All to play for still in this tournament. Ares and Item. Oh, Item's just playing it real cool down low, but oh, Vivax comes in. Vivax comes in, does take some damage. Was that somebody shot him? I think it was Ares coming in with some damage.
X8 taking down Yarkos, so he's going to be out of this fight. He won't have a chance to continue his ranking up to the 29th. For this 1v1v1 battle now breaking out here.
This is an opportunity for Item, to be honest. If he can find the right timing on both of these players to get those crucial last hits, he's going to be in a golden position. Item is actually doing incredibly well in the leaderboard, making at least top 6 right now.
Yeah, he's number 7.
Incredibly consistent. I think he's held that position for about 3 rounds now.
And he's done it kind of quietly, funny enough. Ares, he's going to fall from this as Villax gets his elimination on the board here. Jesse, in the meantime, looking to get aggressive here with the Stink Bomb. Saipan is going to be his prey, potentially. And you're hearing a couple of shots being routed off here. And he's actually being shot from behind, down to 46 health. He actually drops back into him, and he's going to fall from that aggressive play. Jesse going to be eliminated by Saipan, who's going to be more than happy to have that third-party assist come through.
Zapan showing what the EU's made of. The Oceanic region are suffering a little bit in the solos. I was hoping for them to be the underdog story here. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Fato taking some AR shots. We're back on Sinnoh. 1 by 1 in the low river here. Rotated in. I think he's just going to want to play it cool here. He has that rift to go. He's going to want to save that. But he's lacking a lot of shield there.
Yeah, but we know how it works here with the Siphon system. Just get that elimination. Can get some shield built up for you. A lot of dynamite here for Saipan. As the storm does start to close around. It's actually the circle between Shifty and Tilted along the river, as you can mostly see here on the minimap. Meantime, Stompy and Power potentially going to have a little bit of skirmish here too, Zachabas.
Yeah, I think Stompy's going to be okay there. I think he's just going to hold his ground, wait a little bit. Going for the run now. Trying to find a better rotation here. He's already in the circle, but I think he just wants to get more central for that next circle. That's what he cares about here. Get away from Power as much as possible. He's taken a couple of AR shots from the Na'Vi boys, which happen to be right next to each other, so that's going to be an interesting skirmish.
Kenstar, as you can see, still alive. Kripa as well. Dementos, 72 hours to the left-hand side of your screen. Smeeth is in here still as well. And Saf, who's had such a rough solo tournament so far after his second place finish at the Secret Skirmish, looking to change his stars here as he does take down Crazy Llama.
Hopefully he can get these last 2 games under his belt, get some momentum, and maybe have a surprise rise to the top. But you never know. History are 5th place at the moment, doing really well for Brazil right now.
All right, well, you got Kinstar in a high position. You got Poach across the river here as Nate's there as well, up close and personal. 72 Hours trying to edge his way in closer to this skirmish. History's under some pressure now, being tagged up quite a bit. Down a 66 shield left.
Yeah. I think he was actually getting lasered from the side there too. Bit of third-party action coming in. Crippler, you know, just showing off some moves, you know, playing it slow again. He knows that History's not going to try and push into him, especially when he just took that damage. The play has slowed down a lot, but the zone has not.
Well, History, the zone, speaking of, it's actually going to close in right behind him, so he will be fine for now. But I think he's going to have to make a move momentarily. Kinstar still sitting quietly in his humble abode here, built up. And Sweep's looking to transition a little bit closer towards where the next zone will be.
Dynamite coming in to change the equation from above. Keenstar chucking it in from distance onto Cripper. Big damage coming in, but only to builds. History and Cripper managed to separate in their own directions and going to play it a little bit safe and not wanting to do anything, but Keenstar is having none of it. He wants to catch up after that last game. He's dropped down to 2nd place now, and now it's looking to get some elimination points on the go.
We have lost both Na'Vi players, though. Aspect able to clean up Alpha, and Aspect's been having a very rough match. History actually turns around and gets Dementos, so that 1v1 that's happening for is not really going to come into fruition just yet. And look at Andiza. That position over towards the top of the mountain. I mean, he's going to have to move eventually. But still, he's able to laser down on quite a few players transitioning on the rotation.
Probably has a redeploy or some form of movement tool that can help him get across the map, no problem. But Keenstar does not. He's naked here, running through the river. But luckily, everybody is rotating a little bit early here in the circle, and he's got away with it so far.
See Svenos and Aiden here still alive on top of things. Jarl just trying to get out of this rough spot, as we do see a lot of things being thrown his direction with the dynamite. Svenos looks like he wants to use the rift here, and he will actually pop this one off, so not going to save it for later on. But again, realizing he needs to have a easier rotation instead of taking too much damage, losing too much materials.
Everybody was trying to dive into that rift. It got a little bit hectic. Aiden then was forced to use his jump pad instead. Very interesting. Svenos didn't even try to make any form of movement in terms of just running through the ground, you know, gaining ground through natural causes. He decides to go with a safe play with a rift. Obviously, you want to save it as late as possible for, you know, that high ground control later on. But, you know, he'd rather not take any early damage.
Well, and Deez, as we pointed out before, on that high ground of the mountain, has been eliminated. So it looks like his rotation did not go successfully. But Item, you already pointed out before, Zacchaeus, he's still alive here on the low ground, currently in 7th place overall in the standings. He's in the money, currently sitting at $4,000 in his pocket. But Saf, that's the man I really want to see. This is the man I had pitted to win the whole thing when it comes to solos. He's got that one elimination and almost has that second.
Yep, I saw your predictions on Twitter, but it seems like it might not come to fruition unless things can change up here for Saf. Unless he can kick up the pace here. Really desperately, he's going aggro here on Smith. He knows he's low. And oh, that's heartbreaking. Unfortunately, his elimination was just removed from him as somebody else comes in with a third party and just snatches it away.
Unfortunate for him, but I still think he'll be happy to just live to fight another day. We can see the rift being used. Vato jumps in as well. I think Kinsel's going to go here and maybe hop into it too, or maybe just protect it a little bit more to bait anyone in. Demo, not in the best position, as you can see him on the left-hand side of your screen. But we see the circle. It's going to be actually moving away from the mountain. It'll be partially in it, yes. The majority of it is over towards the valley of that river. So high ground going to come in very key here. You do not want to fight in that water.
Got to be really careful with your map control here. We've got a supply drop coming in here on Chap. This is a godsend, providing those stickies don't knock him down. And they don't. Luckily, he's okay. He was a little bit cautious there, obviously so. But here's where it's really important, Jason. This is where you need map survival skills. You need to save them as long as possible, especially with a mountain that could potentially be in the final circles. And
Chap only has 3 builds left too, so he's got to hope for something really good inside of this supply drop. Hope for some eliminations. Speaking of limbs, Bloodx, long-range shotgun. Not going to net him any damage, but he's going to have to start to rotate here into the circle momentarily. 47 players left alive here in round 5. He's actually going to head to the outside of the zone for the launch pad. So nice little usage. The little problem is he's down to 29 health.
He took a lot of damage, but that should guarantee him a spot to land in the circle, providing that he's not focused while he is in the air. Again, a lot of clingers coming out down onto Kaiser there. But I think he's going to be okay. I think he dipped back into a little bit deeper of his build.
It's starting to feel like this game we might have a repeat winner. We still got Keenstar alive. I believe we do have Aiden Hero still alive as well. Bizzle's still going to be in there, who won our round 1. Even potentially looking for an edit up here as the Storm now going to be moving up towards the northeast side. He's actually going to be spotted out. Does get knocked down, but he has the 2 eliminations for himself. Jules has fallen, so that was game 3 winner.
This is massive for Bizzle right now. He needs to maintain this good passive play until that late game, and it's going to kick off on this next circle. It's one hell of a run, Jason, as they have to come off the hill, I believe. So Bizzle hopefully has the items. I think he did have a jump pad as well, so we'll see how he uses it here.
There we go, Rift's being used. Blood X trying to push in from the high position. Bizzle, yep, jump pad like you said, going to be using this to actually get across a little bit closer to the Storm and go to where their buildings have already been used before. So he can maintain the high ground. Look how much material he has to still build with here. That's something we talked about now all day, and how good he is at maintaining his materials when we get to these later edges of the game when you need to be able to maintain high ground position.
Margin's caught out at the backside of the circle, rotating in a little bit late, wasting a lot of mats here. This could be potentially bad for him a little bit later on in the game.
Oh my gosh, everyone is trying to fight for that high ground spot. You can see Aiden trying to defend it as Bizzle's going to be here on top of things as well. He's still got the shotgun to use. Stompy's now down. Item's going to be out of this one. So that 7th place he currently does have could change a little bit though. I don't think it would change too much now with him dropping a little bit early on. But Vato, he's got the ultimate high ground here, Zacchaeus.
He does, and what a good position to be in, but has to be careful. Imagine on his tail there, but is getting knocked back down. Good work from Vato, putting the pressure on, pushing him down further into the builds. And there we have Liquid Vivid getting knocked out.
Yeah, Bizzle got him on that. Chap's going to fall as well. Seth's out of this one. Great little shot out of Vato to maintain his position with his first elimination in this round now under that belt. Morgan, as you mentioned before, he's still here. He's still fighting. He's still looking to transition to stay safe here. The Vic going to back away to go into a rift, so now he'll be on the high ground safe for a while. Saf going to be on the low ground. As you can see, he has Mitro off to his side to potentially force a fight.
Bizzle's still in this. He's going big. He's going for the high ground. No, he's dipped out. He's going to try and knock his opponent down. Vato in a bad position, but now pressure coming in from Bizzle from all sides. He has to slow down his aggression and find another way to claim that high ground.
He's used basically 100 builds since we last talked about him. That's how crazy things have been with him trying to maintain or trying to get a high ground position. You can see Vato, 58 builds left for him. Saf has fallen to Mitro this time. And Mitro going to be looking for a top 10 finish potentially. Aspect going to be low on the low ground as well.
Margin, our 3rd place, in a really bad position here, and he's going to go down. Oh, I believe that was Funk Bomb that actually claimed that one there, and that is devastating for him. Obviously holding the 3rd place, and there's still a load of people to play for here.
I was just about to mention that Jordan, we still have some Aussie hope, but he was eliminated by Aiden here, as you see him on the screen, trying to battle for the high ground side. Vato, he's still there. He's still got 33 builds left. He's going to be running out. He's going to have a challenge, though. It's going to be Scram trying to look for this elimination somehow. Vato, how can he fight back from this one? He still has some shield he could pop here with the small shields, but he needs the time.
He needs the space. Aiden, I think this is the latest circle that we've ever seen him at. Usually an early game warrior, but really providing. But Bizzle now out of mats, Jason.
He's out of mats. He's got to find some sort of avenue back into this one, and just like that, he gets the elimination. He gets some damage done with Vato, but he's going to fall himself, eliminating himself out of the fight here in round 5. Scram. Now he's going to be the one on the high ground with just a couple players left alive. Aiden, as you mentioned before, he's still here. He's still fighting. He's in the storm at the moment. I don't think he's about to get back into this one, so eventually he will fall. But Mitro's there, and Mitro has another limb. Aiden has fallen. And so is Mitro.
Yeah, Mitro's going out big right now. He's been a bit of a surprise. This is a classic Mitro. He always seems to find himself hidden in the middle of this mess and come out on top. And this is his game to take right now.
See Scram, 3 eliminations. He's got high ground position 2. It's going to be Black Shoe and the Vic. We're definitely going to have a new victor here coming into round 5. You would imagine these two on the bottom side are going to have to battle out against each other to try to transition out with the Storm. Black Shoe almost being walled off completely as he's trying to just stay healthy or trying to stay out of that damage that's going to be taken away. The Vic down to half HP as well. Scram, thing is, like, he's in this position where he could potentially shoot down, could fight, but there's so much building everywhere, he doesn't have a clean shot.
Black's at the very bottom of this build. Scram has the great high ground here, and now it's just going to build towards the circle, play it slow, find the right shots here. He just has to play this So smooth and so slow, Jason.
Yeah, he's almost at a disadvantageous position up because he does have his opponent with a lot more HP. He's not able to hit that first shot. 12 builds, 10 builds remain. He's in the storm. He's taking damage. He jumps in. He's going to catch himself midair with 7 builds left to go, but he's down to about 77 HP now, down to 37. And the shots from below won't matter because it looks like the storm has done the damage anyways. And we will see Scram take his first victory royale.
Wow, that was absolutely insane. I can't believe it. Scram finding that at the end there, and what was really weird is that I seem to have lost Mitro altogether at one
Yeah, he did. When Aiden did fall to the storm, he fell right after. So a little bit unfortunate he wasn't able to stay alive longer, but hey, we have 5 rounds now done, and we have 5 different victors across the board. It's really anyone's game. It really is right now.
The Swiss are doing very, very strong here. Kinstar, Scram now showing and representing the Swiss nation. It's good to see.
Yeah, good to see another winner on the board here. Every single player in this lobby seems to have the capability to pull off the victory royale. And as we go on in these rounds, and we have now 5 rounds done, that means that consistency is starting to become even more important. It's not about the victory royale so much because they're being spread among so many players. It's about those top 5 placements, the eliminations as well. It's going to really start coming down to the wire. And I think when we do get a chance to check out the leaderboards again, there's going to be some big shifts once more.
Definitely going to be some upsets. I mean, there was a lot of people that made it to that late game. Obviously, Bizzle was doing incredibly well, and also Magin as well, showing and performing to the late game. What that changes, we'll have to wait and see.
And I want to talk about Aiden a little bit as well, because you mentioned it, Zacubus. Not a player sometimes that we see in the solos making those late game runs, but big eliminations from him again, made it into some decent placements. Although he, coming into this game, didn't have the best placements, he's obviously put himself in contention. But it's enough about Aiden for right now, because we've got to talk about the winner of our last game, picking up the victory royale. Adam is down on the stage with Scram.
To which... Hey, thank you very much. I'm just hearing in my ears, actually. I'm getting a rundown of the points. I'm here with Scram right now. He is, I mean, we've just been talking off camera there. This feels amazing to you. You're kind of shaking. Tell us how you're feeling emotionally right now.
I'm so happy. That was, I can't express it. I'm shaking so much right now. It's so intense, the games we're playing right now. It's crazy competition.
I'm hearing right now that I think you've gone up to 3rd position in our leaderboard, which is insane. Congrats, man. You can see how healthy you are. Tell us about the game itself. What was it like playing in it? It looked utterly nutty. It looked crazy to be part of it. How did it feel to actually play that?
Of course, you got to think a lot about what you do and how you rotate. There's people everywhere. Like, all these players are really, really good, and everyone can win this game. So you got to think a lot about how you rotate and where not to get shot. And yeah, I guess high ground is just OP as well. That's about it.
It's all about the high ground, baby. You know, as well, we were talking to the guys upstairs, we're talking all about strategy at this point in the competition, and a couple of rounds to go now. Strategy-wise, do you keep doing what you're doing, or do you change things up towards the end?
I keep doing what I'm doing. It works out for me, and it's just don't fight mid-game. It's what I learned from some of the test games and some of these games as well, because you'll just get screwed no matter what. So yeah.
Now you've got some wind in your sails as well. You're coming off the back of that Game 5 victory. I'm going to ask you, Scram, do you think you can go all the way to the victory, to this trophy?
Yes, obviously.
There we go. Guys, give it up again for Scram! Congratulations, buddy. Unbelievable, unbelievable scenes here. Let's head back to Mark. Guys, Game 5, what an absolute beauty.
Great stuff there from Scram. And I got you, Adam. You've got to pay attention. I got you. I'm sorry about that. I'll make it up to you later. But yeah, Scram there, obviously the biggest smile we've probably seen on anyone's face, picking up that victory royale. And you can see what it's done to his placements. He's fired up the leaderboards now.
And that's what you were saying before, right? The fact that no one's won back-to-back victory royales, the fact that we haven't had that one player who's been dominating the entire time means any big game you have makes things even more crazy when it comes to standing. The thing is, we're 5 rounds in, and there's no clear victor at all. There's no clear gap between the top 10, the top 20. Yep. I think we're going to go into round 7 and honestly still not know or have a good prediction of who's going to win.
What's insane about it is that it just shows you how consistent these players are, but are completely under that radar until those big step-up moments like that, like Scram just did. And, you know, what's really interesting right now as well is that there are some upsets as well in terms of the points and how they're going and moving up. So we're going to see some really interesting things when we see the scoreboards.
Well, we can obviously get to see some replays of that round that we just seen. Round number 5, obviously full of excitement once again. But round 5, I mean, I can't believe how quickly these rounds have gone past, gentlemen, as we see some of this action, because we've only got 2 rounds left to play. And I think you've touched on a great point there. We talked about how you can't make mistakes now, but now you have to put in that big performance. It's not just about putting in a decent performance now. With the pack being so tight, we have to see a huge performance. We have to see someone take the ball by the horns and step up and win this thing.
I think players are going to feel mistakes way more right now than they will have earlier on. If you make a mistake here into round 6, when you're, potentially in your top 20 position, that's 0 points. You're not going to move at all. Actually, no. Technically, you won't move at all. You'll move down. You won't move up, but you move down the rankings quite far. So I feel like there's even more pressure to play more passive in that early game if you're one of these players that could potentially make it into the money.
Yeah, and the people that are just a little bit, in the top 11, they're going to want to step up their game. When they come into these final 2 rounds, they might want to leave the area with at least 2 eliminations, get some more points on the board. Of course, playing for the late game is always important, but sometimes desperate measures.
All right, guys. Well, fantastic stuff as always. 5 rounds down now. Only 2 more to go. It is still all to play for. It is set up beautifully, gentlemen. When we get back, we'll have our game number 6. Don't go anywhere.